What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Bearded Bear YouTube channel. This is Bearded Bear 9000 back with another video. Today, I was not planning on recording any more videos because I am absolutely exhausted from recording 2 already. However, I came across this article and I could not ignore it because it states this: would Vegeta have been a better main character? Holy shit. I was like, this is content. This is peak YouTube content. So go ahead and make sure I solidify my thought process on that by hitting that like, subscribe, and comment down below. We're to get into this article and see what kind of case they make. Hey, shout out to Game Rant for coming up with this video for me. Anyway, Vegeta's character development throughout Dragon Ball makes him a fan favorite for many viewers. This is the case. It is pretty much a toss-up between who your favorite character is. If I had to divide the Dragon Ball fan base into like who their favorite character was, I would say 75% of the fan base is either a Goku or Vegeta fan. And then the other 25% is made up of the other like ridiculous side characters. However, I would give the edge to Goku in that aspect. Okay? I would say it's like 35% Vegeta, and then the other 40% is Goku. So I do believe it is very close. Because Vegeta is not only popular among the men, he's also popular among the women. The women like him better because he's got grit, he's got darkness to him, he's got mystery. Women like that shit. He holds that more kind of a masculine, non-childish, side to him. And I mean, let's be honest, women love a tsundere, especially Japanese women. Every time a poll comes out about who their favorite character is, Vegeta is always number one on that list, and it's crazy. Let's move on to the next bullet point. While better written, Vegeta wouldn't necessarily be a better main character than Goku due to the latter's representation of the series' main themes. I do believe this is true. I am a Vegeta fan. Before you guys try to go into keyboard warrior mode and try to fucking slaughter me, I am a Vegeta fan, okay? I stand that man. I literally have, how many? One, two, I got 3 figures of Vegeta over there and 1 Goku figure. So you tell me who I'm a bigger fucking fan of, okay? I have a bust of Vegeta. How many of you have a bust? And if you don't know what a bust is, get some culture in your fucking life, okay? I have a bust, a literal 3D printed bust of Vegeta. That's how much I stand this man. Majin Vegeta, to be specific. So, that being said, I do believe Vegeta has the potential to be a main character of a spin-off series. There is a big chunk of time before when we see Vegeta as a child in the Broly movie to when Vegeta meets Goku as I don't know what they were at a time, like a teenager, early adult maybe. I don't know what age they were when they met, but there's a big chunk of time there that could be expanded upon and could be made into its own series. I think that would be very awesome. It would give us a lot of lore into the Frieza army, and it would also show us a lot of what Vegeta had to go through to become the warrior he was. That being said, as far as the main series goes, I think, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to say this now because I'm probably going to talk a lot of shit about Goku. However, Goku is probably the most misunderstood MC out there right now. One of the biggest arguments I see for Goku is that he has no character progression, which is insane to me. Insane. Goku's character progression is one that you have to literally look at, diagnose, and figure out for yourself. It is not written out for you. That is the glory of Toriyama and his ability to write. You do not get it all on a silver platter. You have to investigate and you have to understand what kind of decisions the character is making and relate it to your own life and that is how you become a true Goku fan for life. A lot of us switched up to Vegeta, because as an adult, life is not always easy, shit changes for you. Some people keep that inner child, that Goku within, and other of us opt for a more sturdy, kind of stoic aspect to our life. We usually switch over to Vegeta for those reasons because he embodies us much more than Goku would embody the way that we believe in things, which is already profound to be even talking like this about two characters for a series. However, let's move on to the next bullet point. This is trying to make this a quick video here. So, both Goku and Vegeta serve unique purposes in Dragon Ball, with Vegeta representing change and growth thanks to Goku's influence. This is also true. It all started when Goku called off Krillin from stabbing Vegeta. The literal story would have ended there. Literally would have ended there. Goku would not have made it as far as he has without Vegeta. Same thing with Vegeta. He would not have made it as far as he has without Goku. So, they both go hand in hand with getting to the place that they're at. But definitely Goku's influence right at the beginning, calling Krillin off, saying, "Hey, you need to leave, let him live, let him live. I want to beat him with my own power next time," which, funny thing is, hasn't happened yet, lol. But I'm sure we'll get another, like, proper rematch eventually, because I don't count the Majin one. It's a cheap shot. It doesn't count. Vegeta fans, knock it off. Stop claiming that the fucking Majin Vegeta fight was a W. It's not. It ends in a draw, and then Vegeta sucker punches him. Or I guess, well, like, sucker lobs him in the back of the neck, and then he passes out. Anyway, that's how that fight ends. And then we do get a decisive victory for Vegeta in a sparring match in the Dragon Ball Superhero movie, which is fantastic. It's the way that Vegeta should have been written from the start. There is no reason that Goku should be constantly at a point where he looks like he could just beat Vegeta on a whim. It should always be close and always edge to Vegeta being victorious. That is what the point of them being rivals is. Okay? Goku not being able to relax, because in that moment, that's how Vegeta gets one up on Goku. Same thing with Vegeta. Vegeta cannot relax because Goku is going to find a creative way to get ahead of him again by finding a new tap into his power. We see this over and over and over again. It's a very obvious point to the series. Dragon Ball is a series known for its characters. Hard disagree. It is known for a very select few of their characters. But I do not think it is the most well-written character series. Far from it, actually. But the few characters that Dragon Ball does care about, they put everything into. I will say that. So for the few characters, before everybody goes crazy, that Dragon Ball does stand for, they absolutely put everything into them as far as like development and design and everything, every aspect. However, there are a lot of characters that are just left off the table. They don't give a fuck about. They don't care to write any better. They're just like, oh yeah, they're here for this gimmick, or they're here for this, or they're here for that. Whereas there is a lot of other series, mostly newer modern series, that are very, very heavy on making sure every character has some sort of iconic status to it. Right off the rip, I can name you probably more Naruto characters than I can name Dragon Ball characters, because the writing styles between the two are just not the same. Naruto is very heavy and emotional driven. Dragon Ball has a lot of lighter sides to it that make it much easier to digest. But I mean, obviously, as things continue to change, then these might become a different conversations. However, for now, that's about where I stand with it. Fucking bugs. Alright. Although the franchise is one that places great emphasis on action, the characters in it are some of the most iconic in the entire industry. This is true. I can agree with that statement. And are often linked to some of the most iconic moments in anime of the entire medium. That is also true. They've broken the internet several times. I can't I can't count on my. Yeah, I think it's definitely more than 10 fingers worth of time that they've broken the anime medium in some aspect, some way, shape, or form, whether it was the fans in South America literally showing up in the thousands to watch it on a projected big screen, um, or just even Goku going Ultra Instinct for the first time, and the fact that nobody could get back into Crunchyroll because it crashed the website, or the if you're an OG, you remember when the Majin Vegeta Goku fight was about to happen. That went crazy. You couldn't go anywhere that was anime related because remind you, back then anime was still very niche back then, but it was everywhere. That fight was advertised like it was nobody's business. You might have thought it was Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield, round 2 or fight 2 for that, for that fight. That was crazy. And then of course, Goku versus Frieza, the longest fight of all time. That was nuts. Everybody was at home watching that fight. And this was back before the internet was even a thing. Or I mean it was, but like not near as what it was now. Uh when asked about the best character of all time. Wait, what? When asked about the best character of them all, many fans claim Vegeta takes the cake. Now, there's an argument to be made here. Obviously, if you say that Vegeta has the best character development, I would say yes. To say he's the best character of them all, that's a toss-up. It's very subjective. Like I was stating before, especially when it comes to Goku. I literally think it's a two-man race. It's between Goku and Vegeta on the best character. Because both of them have their merits, they have their flaws, and it's really a toss-up on who you like better. At the end of the day, I can't even tell you one day or the other who is going to win that poll if you were to poll it every single day. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. Let's move on. This has raised an interesting question with the fandom. Some fans feel that because of Vegeta's character arc and growth throughout the franchise, he would be a far better option to be the main character than Goku. Hard disagree so far. I don't know if it's a hard disagree. I do think there's a realm where he can be a main character, just not in the main series. Though this is a controversial view, it is one shared by many Dragon Ball fans. Let's go over Vegeta's importance to the story and if he would actually be a better protagonist than his longtime rival. Okay, Vegeta's character development. Why Vegeta is such a loved character. What do we got? Oh, Gohan's rage. When it comes to discussing the Prince of all Saiyans, the commonly held belief is that Vegeta is either the most well-written character or that he has had the best character development of anyone in the entire franchise. In his initial appearance in the Saiyan Saga, Vegeta was a bold and ruthless killer who destroyed worlds on a whim, being so merciless that he killed his own parents for merely his own partner. Jesus Christ, killed his parents for merely losing a fight. Very true. He absolutely iced Nappa. Um, he said, "What use do I have for a disabled Saiyan?" And then he absolutely mollywopped that boy. Um, but it was a very, very good tone setter for Vegeta. Fun fact, actually, this is the first ever episode of Dragon Ball that I ever caught. Vegeta had. This is back. Okay. This is back in the old days when you had to catch the episode week by week, and a lot of times they would never be one after the other. However, when I caught it on a marathon. So I got to watch the entire Goku versus Vegeta fight. However, I didn't get to finish it. I only got to watch part of it, and it was like a 3 or 4 episode marathon run. And then normally the marathons last longer than that, but I was a kid and I had other shit that my parents made me do, probably chores or something. But I distinctly remember watching the Goku and Vegeta fight. And that is what hooked me into not only being a Vegeta fan from the jump, but being a Dragon Ball fan for life. I didn't know what it was. I watched American cartoons. I never watched a Japanese cartoon in my life. Up until that point, anyway. So, this is absolutely true. He was a savage. He was a ruthless, cold-hearted savage. This fight was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Following his defeat at the hands of Goku, Vegeta meets up with the main character once again on Namek. Okay, hold on. I gotta correct this statement. Vegeta never lost to Goku here. Goku was incapacitated. Is that the right word? Hold on. How do you even fucking spell it? Deprived of strength or power. Yep. Okay, I was right. So exactly what I thought. Okay? Goku was incapacitated for the remainder of the fight by the time Goku and Vegeta were done fighting. After that, it turned into an all-out, pretty much like 5v fucking 1 bang fight between Krillin, Yajirobe, Gohan. Goku was out at this point, but I'm gonna count him anyway. And I think that's it. I don't think there was anybody else involved. So 4v1. It was 4v1. Goku was down, unable to fight, and it was down to the 3 scrubs to try to take down Vegeta. A lot happened in this, but Vegeta did eventually get brought down to the fact where he could only crawl. And that is when Krillin was going to deal the final blow. However, Goku stopped him in the end. So, that being said, this was not a loss or a defeat for Vegeta. He was successful. He beat Goku in that fight. Namek, where it is revealed that the Saiyan race was destroyed by Frieza. Those who remained were under his employ as a part of the Frieza Force. While this did not justify Vegeta's heinous acts, it added a layer to his personality. I do agree with this statement. Definitely does not excuse him of his prior sins, however, but it did add motive. We got to see that Vegeta wasn't ruthless just for the sake of being ruthless. He was ruthless because he eventually, even though Goku realized Vegeta's dream of becoming a Super Saiyan before he himself could, he admired and commended Goku for it, naming him the final hope of the Saiyan race. This is also true. Vegeta was on his deathbed. He was literally on his way out, and he was literally there crying, and just finally, is one of those moments where like he knew it was the end. He finally got to lift that weight off his shoulders and just let it out, and he fucking cried like hell and gave Goku, arguably, for some people, they will argue that this is the greatest speech Vegeta ever gave to Goku in that moment to help propel him to becoming the legend itself. Kakarot, you dog, you did it. You actually did it. You're a Super Saiyan. I can see it. That was cool. Cool acknowledgement. This would lead Vegeta to eventually reconciling with the Z Fighters and calling Earth his new home. He didn't really reconcile with the Z Fighters. So, to kind of add a correction in here, he never reconciled with anybody, actually. The one he ended up, quote unquote, reconciling with is Bulma. Let's just, hey, y'all better be thankful that Bulma exists because she tamed Vegeta. But as we found out later, Saiyans love strong women. That's why Goku chose Chi-Chi, and he's also deathly afraid of her, and that's why Vegeta chose Bulma, and he's also deathly afraid of her. And it still baffles Piccolo to this day, and I love that that meme is still a thing. Though he kept his Saiyan pride and mistrusting attitude, he became much softer as a person. Even starting a family with Bulma over many years, Vegeta would open up far from his comrades, to the point he put his rivalry and jealousy of Goku aside to sacrifice himself to save the planet. This is like a half truth, because in the end he does, right? But everything up until that moment, he said, fuck all y'all, I'm getting this fight. And he put everyone at risk because of it. So, I get what you're saying. But you're omitting some very important details here of what made Vegeta such a conflicting character in that arc, because he went down a bad path, but he only ended it on a high note. So it's like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough for a lot of people. Now in Super, Vegeta essentially exists as a person second in importance to the protagonist in drama. So we're just fucking coming up with words now? I ain't never heard that word in my fucking life. So he basically becomes a side character to the antagonist, always by Goku's side against all odds. Although he is often portrayed as being behind his longtime rival, every now and then he has seen huge increase in popularity and strength, allowing him to contend with Goku better than ever before. I'm gonna be honest. If you're gonna literally tell me that Goku is stronger than Vegeta, I'm gonna tell you to eat a dick. It's not the case. It's never been the case, okay? Goku may get ahead of Vegeta for a time, but Goku never stays ahead in strength of Vegeta. I will always argue that Vegeta has more strength than Goku. However, I will argue that Goku is a better fighter. Okay? Goku's basically a fighting genius. That does not make him the more powerful warrior. Never has. Okay? Goku in Super Saiyan Blue could not even land a single blow on Jiren. But Vegeta managed it on the first try. First try! Vegeta has always been able to find a way to use his power to the best of his ability, because he is most likely going to be stuck at that power for longer due to his own mental limitations. Goku has the creative and fight instinct that requires him to be a much more skilled opponent when it comes to creativity in the ring. We saw this with Hit. Goku found ways to get around his time skip during the fight. Took him very little time to adapt. That is why he is the main character of the series and why people can count on him in a bind, because he finds a way. Vegeta is not like that. Vegeta is not the one to find a way. But he is the one to surprise you if you let your guard down and you make the mistake of counting out the prince. Because he's fucking strong as hell. So, and I will also, and even if you're not going to say like he's not stronger than Goku, which he is, he's definitely more resilient than Goku. And that's literally why his ultra ego, that's the whole reason why they wrote that power to be the fact that it absorbs damage and turns it into power. Is because Buddy's a tank. So he's literally your basic tank build. He goes in with a big ass shield, and then he hits you as hard as fucking hell. Straight up. Goku threw a Universe 7 Spirit Bomb at Jiren, and he threw it back. Jiren could have did the same thing to Vegeta with the Final Flash, but he couldn't. He had to block it, and he got knocked on his shit. Granted, he got back up, but that's just because he's a goddamn monster. But at the end of the day, yeah, couldn't do the Final Flash the same treatment. No way. So, just saying. Vegeta has always been the more powerful of the two. And it literally starts from the Saiyan saga. Vegeta is been ahead. Now, I'm not going to say that Goku doesn't pass him up on several occasions, because Goku does. He finds ways. Vegeta actually acknowledges these things as we go along throughout the series. But fuck me, this video's on almost 30 minutes. I've been rambling. This is why I don't do Dragon Ball videos. Would Vegeta make a better main character? An in-depth look at this claim. Short answer to whether Vegeta would make a better main character to Goku is no. I agree with this. He would not. While most Dragon Ball fans believe that he is the better character overall, in terms of how he is written, it shouldn't undermine who Goku is and what he means to the story. Absolutely agree with that take. W fucking take right here. Vegeta's character development and journey only work this well because of how his role is shown in the series. I don't really like that argument, because it's the same way with Goku, and it's the same way with Krillin, the same way with Piccolo, same way with Gohan. The only reason they're in the state that they're in is because of how they're written, plain and simple. So that's not the greatest argument. See what else I have to say though. Goku is a character who is defined by his ideals and what he represents, which is synonymous with the main message of Dragon Ball. More than anything, this series hammers home the idea of nothing is impossible for anyone who puts the right amount of hard work to achieve it, and having Goku as the face is perfect. I absolutely agree with this. Abso-fucking-lutely W fucking take. Absolutely. 100%. I back this so far. Yep. He is an outcast by Saiyan standards, a peaceful, low-class warrior who has trained himself to become the strongest in the universe despite being someone who was always destined to be much weaker. Alright. Peaceful, however, only came due to essentially him smashing his head at the bottom of a what do they call them things? Not a canyon. What is it? In between the 2 points where he fell down. Is that a ravine? Is that what it's called? Anyway, he fell down one of those things, smashed his head. Long story short, if you haven't watched Dragon Ball, um, and it gave him severe memory loss and almost took his life. However, he's miraculously survived, probably due to the fact that he's a fucking alien. But ever since then, he became a peaceful and much well-demeanored individual. Before that, he was a ruthless and angry motherfucker. Okay? Next, this is one of the biggest things that has defined Vegeta's overall character arc as well, since he's always grew up with the thought that inheriting greatness because of his status as a Saiyan Prince and elite class warrior. Yep, this is pretty much this is pretty much all of the Saiyan saga wrapped up, except for maybe the end here. Different paths to power, but confide in each other due to being some of the last pure-blooded Saiyans. Yep. The topic of whom is better written has a clear answer. Ooh, they say Vegeta is the better written character? I honestly don't know. I can't make a solid 100% decision there. If I'm thinking about it, this might be a hot take, but if I'm thinking about it, I think that I'm going to agree. Only due to the fact that there are some poorly written moments for Goku as a character that make his character seem regressive when there is no need for that to be a thing. I think that's the only reason I would give it to Vegeta. Is only because there are several moments, especially in Super, it is blatantly obvious how poorly his character was depicted in that show. I'm not saying he has to be the superhero goody-goody, but they don't have to make him out to be a complete moron at the same time. Like, a couple, like, moments here and there, haha, funny, you know? But, they did it a lot in that show. Goku's role in the story is one of being comparatively simple character. What the fuck? Comparatively simple character. I lost myself. Who stands out as a beacon of hope for everybody else, as a standard for how one should be. Besides, if it wasn't for Goku and his kindness, Vegeta would have never changed. Yep. Okay. Okay, both characters are. Yep. Okay. I'd have to agree. There's not really, not too much I really disagreed with. More of my critiques were for the different details that were omitted from certain parts, but for the most part, I can agree. Uh, Especially at the very end there, I would definitely like give it to Vegeta very slightly. Um, yeah. So I think that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment, all that shit. And if you actually made it this far into the video, make sure you put down in the comments what you prefer in either chicken wings or chicken tenders. And then maybe I'll do a cooking stream at some point, making one of those two. Probably not. Lol. Uh, yeah. I'm trying to make this as cringe as possible. Is it cringe yet? I'm hoping it's cringe. Is it cringe? Please tell me it's cringe. Please. Please.